I realize there is nothing I can say or do to ease your sorrow. These words, written nearly 80 years ago by Commander Ronald Lee Wilson of the Sumner-class USS Drexler, confirm the death of Storekeeper 2nd Class Robert Ervin Kaping to his family. Captain Wilson, who survived the twin kamikaze attacks that sank the Drexler in less than a minute off the northern shores of Okinawa, provided an eerie account of that fateful May morning. SK2 Kaping's hometown of New Ulm, Minnesota, would mourn his loss alongside his family. Kaping was just the 67th person from Brown County to lay down his life in service during World War II. Once anonymous, seeing his photo, reading his letters, and visiting with his living descendants in New Ulm has made his story personal for me. Robert Ervin Kaping was born on April 17, 1923, and raised in New Ulm, a small German enclave. As the youngest of 5 children to Otto, a house painter, and Annie, who worked at the local poultry processing plant, throughout his life he earned the reputation of Smiling Bob for his constant upbeat personality. Robert was especially close with his nearest sister Elsie, and together they would spend their childhood in New Ulm, placing pennies on railroad tracks for the train to destroy, and collecting bottles to turn in at the local recycling plant. He attended St. Paul's Lutheran High School through 8th grade and graduated from New Ulm High School in 1941, enlisting in the U.S. Navy Reserves on September 19, 1942. At the age of 19, he followed in his older brother's, Chief Yeoman Melvin Kaping's footsteps as a Navy man. SK2 Kaping trained for 4 months in Toledo, Ohio, as a naval storekeeper, a role that included duties such as paymaster, postmaster, and how to order and distribute supplies on the ship. Throughout 1943 and early 1944, SK2 Kaping was reassigned multiple times before heading east aboard the USS Meredith on March 31, 1944, to participate in Operation Neptune, the naval component of the forthcoming Normandy invasion. During this wide-scale operation, the USS Meredith provided crucial support and cover for the 7 Corps landing on Utah Beach. Coincidentally, his brother Melvin would witness the D-Day operation as well aboard the USS Hamilton, which provided similar support for troops on Omaha Beach. Just days after the Normandy invasion, on June 8th, the USS Meredith hit a submerged mine, killing 35 sailors, and sank a day later after a failed recovery attempt. Kaping would narrowly survive and head home to New Ulm on temporary survivor's leave. He spent the ensuing month alongside his family and shared that had he been in his bunk when the Meredith was damaged, he likely would have lost his life. Following his leave, SK2 Kaping rejoined the war effort in December of 1944 on the opposite corner of the globe, entering in the Pacific Theater of Operations aboard the USS Drexler, and was promoted for his continued service in January of 1945. Despite his close call on the Meredith, SK2 Kaping was optimistic about the end of the conflict. Coincidentally, he would again have his brother alongside him, as CY Melvin Kaping's ship, the USS Hamilton, also headed for the waters near Okinawa on patrol. When their 2 ships happened to pass each other in May, Kaping wrote that the Hamilton aimed a hello message across the gap from his brother using light signals equipped on their ships. In his final letter home 1 week before he died, Kaping was eager for action, writing, "The war news seems to be improving. According to our radio and daily newspaper on our ship, they almost have Okinawa now. Guess it won't be too long. Guess the Japanese are still sending lots of planes over there, and I imagine lots of them get shot down. They should have us there. With our excellent gun crew, we could at least shoot down 3 a night." During the Drexler's 2 months off the coast of Okinawa, it both aided in the landing of Allied land forces on the island and served as an early warning radar outpost for threats from inbound Japanese aircraft. Okinawa was encircled by 16 radar picketing stations, all monitored by American vessels. Engagements with kamikaze attacks were frequent for the crew of the Drexler, just as SK2 Kaping predicted. However, on the morning of May 28, 1945, the Drexler's luck would run out. Just after 7 a.m., at least 4 enemy planes attempted to attack the Drexler and the USS Lowry. Although 2 of these kamikazes were splashed, the Drexler suffered direct hits, first to its starboard side, knocking out most of its electrical power, and then again on its port side 2 minutes later. The destroyer rolled onto its starboard side and began to sink. The trainer on SK2 Kaping's gun mount, gunner's mate 3rd Class Eugene Brick, offered the following first-hand account. "I could see the first plane that hit us. All of our guns were firing at it, and I could see tracer bullets ricocheting off the kamikaze. Our 5-inch projectiles couldn't catch up with it, and it crashed with a thunderous bang which knocked out all of our electricity. I heard another plane go right over the top of us, and then all of a sudden another explosion happened somewhere on the ship, and it felt like someone had hit the bottom of my seat with a sledgehammer. My gunmate told me to get the hell out of here. She's sinking. Commander Wilson, captain of the Drexler, explained that a few men were killed outright, but many men were trapped in the ship or drowned. At the time of the attack, SK2 Kaping was at his battle station in the upper ammunition handling room of the 5-inch gun mount number 2. The Drexler sank 49 seconds after the second kamikaze attack. Kaping was one of 158 men declared killed in action on board, and one of nearly 5,000 sailors who gave their lives to take control of Okinawa. Kaping's remains have never been recovered. I selected Storekeeper 2nd Class Robert Ervin Kaping to profile from a list of almost 500 servicemen. His legacy has managed to survive through his family and the men who served with him aboard the Drexler for more than 78 years, and I am eager to ensure that SK2 Kaping's sacrifice remains more than a memory. This fall, I look forward to ensuring that his name is properly cemented on the Brown County Veterans Memorial for his nieces Sandra, LaDonna, and Marlis, for myself, and for Robert.